So welcome to today's update video. This is Typhoon Soudeor, still in the West Pacific, and it's underwent a third eyewall replacement cycle today. It's kind of continues to steadily weaken as it's on. We got a completed one, somewhat successful, and it appeared to be kind of developing that large sprawling kind of pattern. I mean, that leaves it open to dry air, but it's a kind of pattern of Typhoon Niagara I also had last year. Now, under certain circumstances, if the core comes strong enough, it can block out. But this pattern is way too much banding to it. Now it's moves half its 30 RC, and it's probably not going to favor much intensification. It's still in a good upper level environment. This is kind of more of a typical kind of Gulf of Mexico kind of Atlantic hurricane look. That's when these late active year Atlantic hurricanes had, where things continue on a west-northwesterly course. And it's going to eventually probably make a landfall in Taiwan, which is going to dump quite a lot of rain. But anyway, let's go back to our main focus of my channel. That's the Eastern Pacific. So look at it, and you can see it's a little bit more active today. You can see with the monsoon trough getting kind of busy. You can see here's our newly declared tropical depression. Now off the page here is Guillermo. It's look like Guillermo. The CPHC load is around 45 knots. It's probably a bit lower. I mean, the current intensity values are at consensus T.2, T.0. Even this is probably around 35, 40 knots. But it's probably the CPHC went 45 knots. It's really weakening. The circulation is obviously exposed, and you can't blame it. It's 4 knots here. If anything, it's actually amazing to manage to survive this far. And with the remnants, it's probably going to continue on the west-northwest, which of course no real threat to Hawaii. This is providing some increased trade winds, which are enhancing thunderstorms across the Hawaiian Islands. So I mean, there's no real effect here. This is a non-event, fortunately, for the Hawaiian Islands. I mean, obviously some higher surf too, but surf's always high in Hawaii. And here's our new tropical depression 10E. I might have called it 90 earlier in this video by accident, but it's tropical depression 10E. The ancient initialized. It's not too looking healthy looking. You can see it's kind of attached to the intertropical. You can see very well in active black. The system's kind of attached to the intertropical conversion zone somewhat. I mean, it actually is a decent moisture envelope, I think. It's probably going to have pretty good outflow channels. So the system should at least be able to sustain convection over the next several days. But conditions overall on the system are not too favorable. But I will say the wind shears are very, very low, and the waters are warm, and it's supposed to remain that way for at least the next few days. The dry air is going to remain. In fact, this is kind of a similar situation we have in the Atlantic, usually with these easterly waves, tropical waves forming off the coast of Africa. That layer, and as a result, they usually have to face these long bouts with dry air for several days. I think, for whatever reason or another, the dry air seems to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So, tropical depression 10 is going to have to fight a similar battle. I don't know if we'll be able to succeed or not. It's going to really depend on how good southward chances. Moisture envelope looks okay. Not too good, but it's okay. I mean, you can see it's not particularly well organized. It's probably, you can see it's become better organized over the past few hours. It probably does have a closed sounding. There's sufficient evidence based on organization, but I don't think the sound is complete. I mean, you can see at least a push. You can see at least a fairly closed circulation on here on earlier ASCAP pass, but not too much. And you can see it's probably secondary mid-level circulation over here that probably fizzled out. Because for a while it had multiple LSCs at this time last night, and there's really not too much of a wind threat, at least at that time. I honestly am a little puzzled. It's 125 knot bar, and I probably supports a 25 knot intensity. They may have missed some, given the fact some of the deeper convection right out here may have been missed. Overall, this is a relatively non-event. I mean, no, this is a relatively non-event, but this is overall nothing. It's a relatively weak tropical system. It's pretty much no threat to anyone. And it's not particularly well organized, so it's become better organized, and you can visibly find some curved banding features. So it's probably a tropical cyclone. I think this more stuff I don't think is attached to the system. I think it's more attached to the intertropical conversion zone. But we'll see. I mean, Most of the guidance here may actually be a little bit too bullish. I mean, some of the ships in LGM and JFDL models brings to a hurricane. The HWRF forecast I kind of like because it kind of doesn't really do too much with it for the next several days. Kind of keeps it a low-end tropical storm. While some of the other models, like the ships in LGM, are kind of pretty aggressive now, unless the system kind of forms relatively quickly. If it does so, then maybe that's a possibility. But unless the system forms relatively quickly, I think these are more of out. The ships in LGM is more of an outlier solution. I mean, the ships in LGM, for his general reference point, tend to have issues with invest over dry air. With tropical systems over dry air, they tend to do a little bit better. But mid-level dry air is still an issue with this. I mean, track-wise, I think there's a pretty good consensus. This will not be a threat to the Hawaiian Islands. It's supposed to continue on a westerly track then as it reaches a break in the ridge round between 140 and 145 W kind of curve. I mean, obviously there's still uncertainties on the exact angle. Probably a lot of it will depend on the strength of the system. If the system can organize quickly, I think the system has a chance to become a minimal hurricane. If the system cannot organize quickly, still likely kind of become one of those 40 to 45 knot dry air storms you typically get. I think for now I'd say around 50, maybe 55 knots, maybe 45 knots. 45 to 55 knots is probably a good peak intensity. NC peak intensity of 60 knots may be a little too high, but it's not totally unrealistic. It wouldn't be an end of the wood. It shouldn't be too surprising if the system becomes a strong tropical storm or minimal hurricane. We'll see, but it's got to organize quickly. Now on to the future. It's also got to point out one thing. The GFS has no grip on this system. That's also going to be very interesting because there's also an area of disturbed weather that this area of disturbed weather, it's kind of a lemon now. It's a 0% chance of development in 2 days and a 20% chance of development in 5 days. And I think this JFS one might be possibly phantom storm, or the storm might be legitimate. I'm not sure. But it's worth noting the initialization. GFS is not just recognizing this area of disturbed weather. I think this is actually invest. You can see it doesn't show any kind of closed ice bar in the system that's about to become not invested, but declared. You expect at least one, maybe two closed ice bars in the system. But the 0-20 system doesn't. As a result, As a result, there's a chance that this lemon may be inhibited by the development of Hilda, but if Hilda moves out of the way quickly, and this lemon sits there, so this may not be a phantom storm because it's the situation that GFS shows is somewhat realistic because the system sits there for a few days. Kind of like here's kind of a good instance. They keep, which now tropical depression tending like a broad unorganized low. And while the system kind of sits there, then maybe it'll have a chance to develop, but I'm not sure how having a stronger tenny could affect the small, and that may potentially hurt the system's development chances, so it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Overall, point out that the GFS does make this a pretty potent hurricane eventually in the Central Pacific. Make the lemon, and probably put no real threat to Hawaii though. Still something worth pointing out. You can see here's the European run. European here's what kind of has a similar situation to GFS at first, except the European actually has a decent grip on Tenny. You can see it starts to deepen Tenny. It really doesn't, and kind of intensifies Tenny before. Unless everyone kind of keeps the system a little bit more weak, so there's multiple situations here. And there have been some months where the European has developed the system, so it wouldn't be far-fetched, in my opinion, if the system developed, but it's not something I would expect either. This is the peak of the hurricane season, though, and we tend to get a lot of interesting, exciting things. But anyway, after these systems, let's look at the GFS ensembles. I mean, it's technically not even far-fetched to expect something even beyond this, because some of the ensembles are kind of hinting at already. I don't know, maybe the GFS is on to Phantom Storm Crew, we'll see, especially the operational GFS one shot, because I think the 0Z GFS one will be key. And that 0Z GFS one, which is probably out by the time you're watching this crappy video, the crappy videos I make, isn't out as of the time of recording, because this is like right around at 3:30 Z's when I'm recording this. Because my internet's slow, so these videos take forever to upload and render. But in 10 days, the GFS starts to develop a possible hurricane. This would be Ignacio and Jimena on August 15th. And then, did I close it? Making this system into a, oh man. I closed it, but then eventually, the GFS eventually makes the system into a plant poaching hurricane out the coast of Mexico. The last several GFS runs have been doing this, so it's going to be interesting to see. It kind of reminds me of the GFS runs doing the URS. And I mean, obviously, GFS had issues with bullish tropical cyclones with Chan, Harmon, and Kaka, but it's not it actually underestimated Solio in the West Pacific a little bit. And it overestimated the URS slightly, but not significantly. And here's Ignacio and here's Jimena. It's going to be interesting on the GFS run. You can see it's going to be interesting to see how these two come together, because they both these hurricanes do come together like it's expected to. We could see two major hurricanes at a time. That kind of data will, but the future model runs by both the GFS and European will be crucial. And after knowing that the GFS also develops what would be Kevin or maybe Jimena by August 21st. Here's a look at the atmospheric situation. Now kind of entering more of an active phase of the convective Kubrick turbine wave finally. And that could finally allow for at least a good solid outburst of tropical cyclones that we haven't been needing. Maybe we can take care of some of the Eastern Pacific dry air issues that the basin's been suffering from recently. Here's a look at the European runs, and you can see it with the MGO for a minute. It's going to be kind of crucial. The Europeans kind of keeping this in the West Pacific and kind of having it retrograding and weakening. But the GFS kind of, but the the global ensemble systems kind of keep the system a little bit weaker. The MGO a little bit weaker, but eventually in a week or two have this moving towards Phase A and Phase 1. Which that may partially have explained some of the phantom storms, even though in the Atlantic. And recent ones, even though the recent ones have dropped them. Then, since the GFS have shifted a little bit more, east to west, it kind of depends how you look at it, but they shifted more towards the Pacific a little bit, but they still keep, you see some of the ensemble members out, so some MGO in the Pacific, and a little bit more of the MGO in the West and the Eastern Pacific now. Now, as a result, can favor more upward motion in the Pacific instead of it being over the Eastern Atlantic. As a result, I think that's why maybe why the GFS is starting to get a little bit more bullish in the Eastern Pacific. Though to be fair, they've always had the MGO heading to this part of the world in about 2 weeks ago. It was just kind of shifting in a little bit. And the bias corrected GFS is even a little closer, more east. I don't think that the models see the bias corrected GFS, so it's possible that even though the models show it, if this GFS pulse, this MGO pulse comes true, this when the bias corrected GFS MGO pulse comes true, it is possible that we can get an even stronger it's possible that we can even get more activity, or at least more larger systems than what the current 18Z GFS run shows. But it's also possible the European comes to true and we don't really get too much. I mean, worst comes to worst, I don't think whatever MGO we get is probably going to either be in the Pacific or it's going to be incoherent. So it's kind of how the way it goes in El Niños, as I've noted several times this year. And here's also another look at the Canadian model. The Canadian solution is a little bit unrealistic given the El Niño base state, and it kind of links into the Indian Ocean a bit. That would favor upward motion in the Indian Ocean, which doesn't really do too much for tropical cyclones. That's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Bye.